there's some stuff I just want to get off because, like, I don't know. See what the hype's all about. I don't.
Oh,
I
boy,
don't.
Here we go. So, before we get started, I just want to lead with this caveat that I did say last week after we kind of poo-pooed on the Secret Invasion finale that the Loki series was really the only one that I was really checking for. And in great Marvel fashion, not long after the finale disappointed all of us in the fandom, they dropped a season 2 trailer for Loki. So, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of New Black Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, aka Prince, with my co-host and homie Duran, aka Medic Grizzly. Yeah, the trailer dropped. I liked it. Wasn't blown away, but I am still very much invested in what's going on in the Loki TV series because with Kang and everything, it's like the only thing that has any kind of resemblance to those first couple of phases of Marvel where like they're leading up to some big bad clash. And I like all the TVA time travel stuff. I like it. I like all the fuckery. I loved WandaVision. I love those kind of like weird kind of like very sci-fi time travel, alternate reality kind of stuff. Especially because Kang is at the center of it all. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I liked it. Loki season 2 was something I was going to check for anyway. But how are you feeling, Duran? Because you look, not like super enthused, like you're in deep thought. Like
There was a
maybe
rumor.
make one of those Duran hot takes.
There was a rumor that Loki was supposed to be 12 episodes in season 1, but they decided to split it in half because of the movies that were coming out during that time period. Like Doctor Strange movie, everything else, and how it made more sense because of the madness in the multiverse. And we're talking about the first wave of TV shows, I actually think Moon Knight is still a top tier show I'm looking forward to compared to a lot of other shows.
Loki, you like it better than Loki?
I did. And the thing with Loki had the bottom 9th inning last 10 minutes of his season finale.
That's
that
true.
Knocked out the part.
That's true.
Outside, if you take that part away, it was okay. It didn't blow me away. It just didn't. For me. That's just for me. Everyone else had different feelings about it, but that last 10 minutes of that segment saved the entire series and elevated it above other series, in my opinion. I still have Falcon and Winter Soldier highly regarded up there because in every single episode, there was something happening, cause and effect. So I feel that I am watching this, and it's like, is it going to be a replay of season 1? It's just a different Kang. Like, okay, we know that now the multiverse is now messed up. Okay, they're showing him being almost like Spider-Verse type shit stuff all over the place. And why is it only 6 episodes again? Like, this is not, why are Marvel doing this 6 episode crap as a season? That's not a season. It's basically enough for you to actually start enjoying it, then you cut it off. So it kind of feels like it's just finishing off season 1. I know it's titled season 2, but even like the lighting and how the film was even made, it doesn't look like it came under this new like wave of TV shows. It looks like it came from the original wave. That's why it looks really good.
You said something where you were like, "Is this just going to be
a repeat?
Is this going to be a repeat just with a different Kang?"
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about that, but
now I will go on the record and say right now, you already know Jonathan Majors is one of my favorite actors from The Harder They Fall. There's not just Creed franchise. There's other shows and that he's done that I personally like. He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, he's phenomenal actor. And,
so
and that's why I'm really checking for this.
Yeah.
But to your point,
it's a replay.
I really hope not, but like I'm starting to get a little bit skeptical of the projects the MCU is putting out because, like we talked about, this phase has been it. I mean, it objectively has the lowest batting average of any other MCU phase.
They have 8% for the season finale now. Their Rotten Tomatoes is just going worse and worse every time. Every time it comes out, I hear a lower percentage.
And it's not just Secret Invasion. I mean, it's a lot of the shows have been very, very hit or miss, right? And I feel like this is one of those shows where they could really get back into the good graces of folks.
But why?
Especially, it's coming out 2 months after Secret Invasion ends, so it's coming out in October. So maybe this season can kind of lessen the stench of that crap finale they gave us.
All right, here's my problem with Loki's season 2 from what I'm seeing right now. I'm just going to be honest and blunt about it. The reason why season 1 finale was so freaking magnificent, and the reason why we cared about it, because we have never seen that before. We all said, darn, the timeline's now broken. We are going to start seeing things we never thought about. That means old storylines. Everything is possible. And then we get served what we got served from TV shows and movies, from Doctor Strange. Let's not talk about the She-Hulk thing. We're not talking about the Secret Invasion. Let's go back to even the movies. Doctor Strange movie, in my personal opinion, was not good. It wasn't good. I can argue that Spider-Verse...
It left a lot to be desired.
For the title that it was supposed to be, and the hype that it was up leading into that, because of WandaVision, and also because of Loki season 1, we were expecting everything, and we got nothing compared to that. So you go from that sequence to now we are going to a point where, what are we doing? We already knew what was going on. Now you have even Ant-Man Quantumanium, like everything that's going on since that is like, I can argue that animation has been the best film in MCU in the past year and a half.
And it's not even in the MCU.
That's what I'm saying, but that's literally what it is. An animation film using a character is better than any live action film in the past year. I can argue that Ms. Marvel was competitive enough versus some of the TV shows in the past year, 6 months in a year. And that wasn't even a name where everybody wanted to watch that movie. I mean,
No Way Home was good though. I enjoyed No Way Home.
That's what is that though? What is that?
I mean, that's MCU. I mean, Sony and MCU have had...
No, but I'm saying that's Spider-Man. Spider-Man is his own thing. If you literally talk about just the MCU and everything is developed, Spider-Man was never a part of that, really. Well, you guys Doctor Strange and No Way Out. I guess you can mention that. So that's fair. You can mention that one. But out of all the projects they had, 10 projects they've had? And we're saying that more are bad than good. So it does leave this one like, I don't know. And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, cool, we're going back in time to rechange things, to go back again in the future, but for what though? What's the big bang to this? Like, what are we getting out of this? Before it was the multiverse and the endless opportunities to get different things. Well, you kind of shit the bag with that one. So what, you're trying to redo it again? Like, what are we getting out of this?
Well, you got to remember too, right? At the end of season 1, Kang was basically telling Loki and Sylvie that, like, hey, look, I'm the one keeping things in order here. You kill me, it's just going to be a bunch of me's trying to kill each other for supremacy, basically.
And that's what we thought was going to happen in all of the TV shows, but because of also real life issues that happened and things were either subtracted or did not take place for the screens because of that, was they didn't know what they want to do. It kind of watered down this point. Because at this point, we're expecting to see like 5 different Kangs that pop up and like, yo, which one's going to pop here? We don't know what's going to happen here. We haven't seen any. We've seen one. And we've seen the post-end credit, mid-credit and post-credit of like 3 other ones, the King Tut version. And there is a bunch of them. But as far as the implications in other movies and TV shows, we haven't had anything that's been significant. It's literally another TV show that's going to hold what weight. And I don't mean to trash it, but I'm just being honest.
No, I'm with you. I mean, I am still excited to see it, only because of Kang. Like, if Loki season 1 had never introduced Kang, and then they had the track record that they've had with TV shows, I wouldn't be checking for Loki season 2. I'm only checking for Loki season 2 because of Kang. That's the only reason I care.
And that's probably the main reason why I'm watching too. I can't lie. That's probably the only reason I would watch it. But I'm just looking. This is 6 episodes again. And I really feel like they filmed all 12 episodes and this cut in half. This is going to be the original format.
Right.
Like when we watch this, the camera, the lighting, everything else, I don't think anything about this TV show is going to feel fresh at all.
Well, because that's not nothing that you bring up, because at the end of the first season, Loki realized, all right, after we killed Kang, there was just another Kang, that created the TVA in his place, right? So the TVA still exists. We don't know what version of the TVA. We don't know if it's going to be more strict, more lenient, more ruthless. We have no idea. But it seems like they're still operating as if no one knows who they are, which is kind of weird, because I feel like if you're the other Kang that took this over because of what Loki and Sylvie did in season 1, I feel like you should probably know who's responsible for giving you this window of opportunity, no? And if you are, aware of who's responsible, why are they able to run around using TVA resources, the portals, and all the other kind of stuff all willy-nilly? Because like we did see him kind of what they call, I think it was time skipping or whatever at the beginning of the trailer. But we also see them using the portals later on in that trailer too. So I don't know if it's maybe the time skipping is an issue in maybe the first episode or two, and then they figure out a way to kind of control it a little bit, and they can go back to using the portals. Again, we don't know anything about the plot yet, but it seems like they're trying to track down this other Victor Timely version of Kang, who seems to be either going through time or has gone back in time to try and plant his flag somewhere else.
I think he's the first King.
Kang does.
I think he's the first King. I think they're going to go.
You think Victor Timely is the first King?
I think he's
like the original King.
Outside of King Tut and all, if you want to go back to my first, the first one, as far as like messing with the timeline, I think he is the first one. And I think that's why it's so important. That's why they have to go back and realize like this man's made a machine. And even like, I can't think of the character's name. The gentleman that drops down and they show him and he's time skipping. That gentleman is going to make a device to stop Loki from doing the whole time skip thing. He's
right. I'm with you.
I can't think of his name of the character. He's actually in the comic books. I can't think right now. But I think the reason why Jonathan Major's character is so important is that that's going to be the person that starts everything. They have to go back to it and find out who actually caused all this and what technology did it, and it's going to come from that technology, in my opinion. That's why they have to go back to that point.
That's a great theory. So basically what you're saying is this Victor Timely person who was alive in this time period, maybe he didn't even travel to this point, but he created this machine at this time period.
Yes.
And from everything. Here is when all the Kangs come about.
That TSA everything was formed off that technology. That's why I think everybody goes back to that point. Because you look at it, it looks like a regular show. Like, hey, this is what I invented. You guys come check it out. It's not some top secret type thing. It's out there for everyone to see. It's like a magic show. As anyone was going with that. That's what I think is going to happen.
That's a great theory, and I like it.
Yeah, so I do. I wonder if I didn't have the letdown of the last series, would I be feeling this stern and like just not unwilling to be like, yeah, it's gonna be great. I just don't have that in me right now. Like, they've literally been striking out right now. Like we should do a series very soon of like 1 through 10 of the TV shows. Like we should really rank them right now of personal preference.
I'm down to do that.
Yeah,
I would love to. Well, is this the first season 2 of any of the shows? It is, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I was going to say maybe we should wait until season 2 drops, but
no,
maybe it's more fair to do it before.
Yeah, before season 2 drops to see everything's going on.
It's going to be a lot of poo-pooing, I feel like.
No, I'm just saying like that just tells you like if you or we did even a ranking system where we did it is 0 through 10. Like, what do you consider this? Because Loki season 2, we're hoping that it's a 5-star complete package, but you're only giving me 6 episodes. And I think that's also the problem. How much can you get done in 6 episodes? And what's the time period for the episodes? Because if you do a time jerk thing where like you did last time, where you gave me an hour for one, then 30 for the next, are you trying to make a mini movie and break it down episodes?
Yeah.
It doesn't work all the time.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think if they're going to give us 6 episodes, they need to be 45 plus minutes.
Yeah.
An episode. But wasn't Loki season 1 like only 30 minutes an episode? Like
we had really no expectations for the Loki.
Right, that's true. But I mean, to your point, yeah, 6 episodes at 30 minutes apiece. That's 3 hours.
Yeah, and that's a movie. So they're trying to make it into a movie. I get it, but I feel like just all over the place and like how they cut it is going to be so important. I think there's so much more that they could do with this concept and this plot that they could do 40 plus minutes per episode for 6 episodes and really take their time with it and flesh it out, not like how they did Secret Invasion. What's the end game?
I think the end game of what?
Like what phase? What's the big bad or what's the conclusion? Is like what are we getting out of it? Like what do you see coming out of this season 2?
I mean, the end game is Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. I mean, we all know that.
No, that's the movie. I got that. But like, far as in this episode, what do you want to see in this season? Like, what are you looking forward to? Besides him as an actor and the actors.
That's a great question. That's a great question. I, to your earlier point, I want to see them build on what they've created in season 1. To your point, I don't want to see them just do season 1 again, just with a different Kang. I want them to really, and now that they know what's going on, now that Loki knows what's going on, I want to see him take some steps as to learning more about how this multiverse actually works. Because we haven't really gotten any kind of knowledge about how this shit works.
No.
We've just seen random events in Quantumania and a couple other the series that I've dealt with or movies that have dealt with a little bit of multiverse travel, but we really don't know anything. So I would love for them to build on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're not going to give us everything this early because Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars are still several years away, and there's still a bunch of projects that they're going to have to put out between now and then, right? So I want. And maybe we've been too spoiled with the first couple of phases, like the Infinity War saga, where they gave us little tidbits here and there about Thanos, here and there, here and there, here and there. That's all we want from Kang.
And that's all
we want. We want just a little taste here, a little taste there, but gradually build it up, right? And maybe that's their plan still.
Yes,
but I feel like they kind of veered off the track a little bit with a couple of the other series where I felt like they were just flooding the market with content with a bunch of stuff people didn't even really care about. That didn't even really tie into Kang, right? Like Hawkeye. No one asked for a Hawkeye series.
Yeah. That was to get Echo out so they can bring Kingpin. Like if they do that.
Okay, I'm with you, but you don't have to make an entire TV series just so you can introduce another character that people don't care about, just so you can introduce Daredevil that people do care about, so you can tease it for a TV series that's going to come out 2 and 3 and 4 projects from now. Like I'm not watching Echo. I don't care if it sets up Daredevil Born Again. I'm just going to wait until Daredevil Born Again comes out. I don't care about Echo. No one cares about Echo. No one asked for this.
I get something crazy to say. Again, guys, subscribe, like, share. Let us know how you feel about this, like Loki season. You mentioned Kang Dynasty, and that's the end game, right? I think that if this is a unsuccessful season, that we don't see Kang Dynasty. I'm not saying we won't see Kang again in another type film, but I think having him be the primary big bad and having everything centered around that, they drift to a different way, maybe a Galactus or something different that takes the baton. Because I just don't see it. I don't see it. They dropped the ball with scrolls. This could have been a scrolls phase. It didn't have to be a Kang phase. It could have been a scroll phase, and they dropped that ball.
They really could have.
This whole
like,
thing could have been
drawn out
solved
the
with
secret
being
invasion.
whole thing could have been solved with that. You guys
I agree.
literally skipped over that. Now, with on top of having the legal stuff going on, with all the writer's strike going on, how things are being prolonged and pushed back further, we may not even see this until almost 2030s.
That would be devastating.
It's devastating, but if you will stop at that, if this is what we have and it is not successful, that means the next project coming out, you don't have the writers to make a new project. So there's going to be a gap getting that ready, plus all the films you want to get out that's not out already. So by the time this film actually comes out, when would it be? So it may be scrapped.
Yeah, I mean, but and to that point, that does give them a little time to your point, reevaluate things.
Yeah.
If this does not go well, because then they can say, oh, well, all the delays and everything else, like we had to reevaluate some stuff and we just decided blah, 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 blah.
I can see them flopping it with X-Men.
And so they can kind of dodge the stench of failure. Because to me, pivoting from Kang this early in the game, because you really haven't given us a whole lot. You gave us Quantumania and Loki season 1. That's it. That's all you gave us.
Are they
pivoting at that point? Would be an objective failure, in my opinion.
Right now, Doctor Strange, was it something you would rewatch right now?
Probably not.
Okay,
I might watch like the 7 minutes of Wanda going ape shit, but that's about it.
Quantumania, something would you rewatch right now?
I would not.
Secret Invasion, would you rewatch it right now?
Absolutely not.
So right now, everything that we have, like I'm saying, like these are the big hype ones we have. Like, and then you have Loki too. Then you add on the strike season. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news for people, but they have to realize this strike thing is really a real genuine concern for future content and creators. Because if you don't have that and the way the writers are in the union and how it works, they can't promote their stuff. Actors can't go and promote their things at all. So you're going to have all these films and stuff. People are going to want to find other ways to provide money. They're going to find other films and do different things, which are going to push back scheduling conflicts. They can't do these things.
Yeah, it's
going to get
a
messy.
Weird spot everyone is in right now.
It's going to get messy.
But I think, what we've talked about in the last couple episodes on this pod about the MCU, them kind of not exactly delivering as of late, just makes this whole strike situation that much worse, because now they can't move forward with some of their projects that maybe some of us were looking forward to. And if there is a little bit of a hiatus of content, to your point, and the last couple bits of content we've gotten from you have been mediocre at best, that doesn't bode well.
If you were an executive right now, before we get out of this, and you tell me that the last 3 projects that we center around, the fans are not with it, are you really going to keep pursuing that route, or are you going to try where everyone's asking for the Fantastic Four, everyone's asking for the X-Men? You can use Deadpool 3, whenever it comes out, as your catapult. Like, there's other things that they could replace this with. I don't want them to. I want this to be a phenomenal season. I'm just speaking to being a bearer of bad news right now. I hope it's incredible, and I hope it springboards future content with other characters that we did not expect to see in this series. But from what I saw in the trailer, it's the same characters. That's why I think it's a continuation from season 1. I don't think it's a reshoot. I think they just made all 12 episodes and they just cut it in half. There's no new character in there.
Well, if that's the case, I'll be highly disappointed. I really hope that they use this opportunity to do something fresh and to bring in some more characters, and just continue to build on what they did in season 1 and give us a little bit more info on Kang and the multiverse, because that's what we want. That's what we want.
Kang's love interest, you see her as a TSA person. The next clip, you see her as holding a cannon gun. After that, you see her in the office in her regular civilian clothes. The black security guard, you see her in the outfit where she is. Then you see her in a African garment. Then you see her in a doctor's garment. Same actor going across. Then you see Loki doing 3 different things. Then you see Kang 3 different things. You see the same actors. No one's
Yeah.
new.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Sorry, fans. I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest with you guys.
No. I mean, you're fine. I mean, I guess we just have to wait and see. I mean, I really hope that this is good. Honestly, I do have a level of skepticism just because the MCU hasn't been doing so hot lately. And I want them to do good. Like, I don't want to come on here and poo poo their shit. Like, you and I live for this shit. Like, this is the kind of stuff that we're into. You know what I mean?
The good and the
but
bad. So we're gonna be real with you guys and tell y'all we like it or don't.
Yeah. So, but we'll definitely be back when the season drops to review the episodes one by one. So make sure to like, subscribe, so you guys don't miss anything. Comment, let us know what you guys thought of the trailer, and let us know your overall thoughts about the MCU right now and the state of the MCU and the impact of this strike going on right now. Because we would love to hear you guys' thoughts on what's on the implications of this long term. But yeah, I mean, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. I've been Prince Duran. It's a pleasure as always, bro, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Peace.